Bonnie Bay Crochet, and welcome to Friday Fun. Woohoo! We're going to be continuing our Christmas in July celebration. So thank you so much for joining me. You know what I forgot last week? I forgot, it's not the most important thing, but it's one thing that I absolutely love to do with Christmas, and that is give presents. So I'm going to start off right off the bat. Don't do anything yet because I haven't told you how I'm going to do this time, although you know I'm predictable. Um, I'm going to, don't send anything in. I'm going to give these away. I'm going to give you a choice. The first 3 people that were in the chat today, and don't worry, I've got plenty more to be giving away as the program progresses. So Lynn Morris, Margita, and Wanda Gordon, excuse me. I'm going to write your names down here. You're the first 3 in my list. Now, if you're from like a country where it's going to cost me about $100 to ship this, I have an alternative. I'm going to let you choose a couple of patterns from my Lovecraft store and I'll just send them to you. So I do have options if you're international. So don't sweat that. I do want to be generous as much as I possibly can. So let me go ahead and write the winners down. Lynn Morris and Margita. Is it Eklund? And Wanda Gordon. So thank you all. Thank you ladies for coming so early. I just want to say hey to some folks as I didn't get as much chance as I wanted to last week. And I'm sorry if I didn't get to your comments last week. I just had so many things to talk about and so many show and tell fun things. And I have some more this week. I remembered to bring with me the things that I forgot last week. So anyway, I like Lynn's comment. She says, be safe, be healthy, be happy, and crochet on. I like that, Lynn. Amen. Thank you so much. That encourages me just reading that. And thank you for your well wishes, Wanda and Cynthia Burke from Illinois. Welcome, welcome. And you know what, Cynthia, I'm going to add your name to the list. I just feel like that. Okay, I'm going to add Cynthia to the list. Cynthia Burke, you're one of our winners as well. Because you all were just sitting there waiting and waiting. So what I need you to do, the 4 of you, what I need you to do is send me an email. And let me go ahead and put the address in case you don't know. It's bonniebay@me.com. It's also in the video description at me.com. I just added it to the chat. And all I need is a mailing address. If you're in the US, if you're outside the US, let me know. I will respond to you once the program is over. Give me an hour or 2 just to kind of get my bearings and things cleaned up after I'm done here today. But I want to give you a choice of 2 patterns from my Lovecraft store, and that includes the newly released Christmas tree skirt that we're going to talk about again in just a minute. Okay, and let me just show you what I'm offering. This is one of my self-published books. It's called Winning at the Fair, which kind of briefly tells my story of how I got into crocheting as a designer, and just kind of figured the knack for winning the grand champion, which was something I've always wanted to do. It was so much fun. So I tell you a little bit about my story. You can choose from that one. And I also have bags and backpacks, which has a lot of nice patterns in it. And it has the pattern of the one that I released this past summer, a backpack, and all the directions you need to do that. These are Leisure Arts publications, and then cabled baby blankets to crochet. Again, another Leisure Arts publication. There are, I believe, 5 patterns in here, or 4 or 5, but you know, it's a really nice size. I know people think, oh, it's small. I don't like this small stuff. Actually, it fits in the bags a lot better and doesn't get all bent up like the big ones do. So anyway, just let me know which one you'd like, and I will get that in the mail to you as soon as possible. All right, I want to get back to the chat here. We have Marie. Hey, Marie, it's so good to see you in the chat, my friend. Hope things are going well in Charleston, South Carolina. And Diane from New Jersey. I have 2 boys in New Jersey right now. My son Hudson, who usually lives with us, he does live with us, but he's visiting his brother and his wife in New Jersey right now. And let's see, Alana from steamy Tennessee. Oh, I know what that feels like. Alana, having spent many summers in South Carolina. And Ann Butler and Dina from, is it, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. I'll mispronounce that city name, but from Alabama, I can say that one. And we do have Hannah. Yay! Thank you, Hannah, for being our hero, our moderator, administrator. Cheerfully like to say our friendly bouncer for our group chat. And Julie from Kentucky. And see, Susan AB is here. And Yvonne. Hey, Yvonne, from my home place where I grew up in South Florida. I hope everybody's doing well down there. Hope I still remember that building collapse situation. I hope I hope you guys are okay. I hope you didn't lose anybody in that. But anyway, it's so great to see people from my hometown where I grew up. I so want to go back for a visit sometime. And Wanda says, I think others were before me. Well, you know what, Wanda, in the feed that I got, this is in regards to winning, in the feed that I got today, yours was one of the first. So just enjoy, my friend, okay? Now, some of you may have different orders on your feed. I don't know how that all works, but I'm just going by the top chat in my listing here. We have Lynn Moore. She says, I'm in Canada, so maybe you should pick someone else. Lynn, no, let me take a look and see how much the postage is going to be for that. I just want to go ahead and send it to you, okay? Canada's close enough. I can do Canada today. I'm feeling generous, okay? It's just that sometimes when I do postage for international shipment, it can be 3 or 4 times what the value is of what I'm sending. So in those cases, it's almost better if I can just send you something that has equal value, but just maybe it's a PDF, if that makes sense. So we can go back and forth. If there's something you'd rather have out of the Lovecraft stores instead of the books, just let me know, but I'll be glad to send one to you, okay? We have Nancy. She says, howdy from New York. Hey, Nancy, glad you could join us. And Swati, so good to see you from LA. She says she's working on the Hialeah honey blanket these days. You know, that's still one of my favorites. That's, again, named after my hometown, Hialeah, Florida. It's actually a Seminole Indian name, I believe. That is the name of the city. And we have Wanda Bigelow this morning, and Sarah, and Nancy's Barber says, first time watching. Well, Nancy, thank you so much for joining us. What's this? Hannah, hold on a second. Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Hannah, for sending me this. Love to Craft says that she'll have to watch later. On her way to a double funeral for 2 very special cousins. Oh my goodness. So they died 8 months apart. I guess it's probably due to COVID. Love to Craft, I am so sorry to hear that you are having a day like that, but yeah, God bless you, and thank you for going to support the people there. I know it's so important to attend funerals. Don't want to go there anytime soon, but I just know whenever I've gone to like my parents' funeral, it's just meant so much to me when people could come and support us during those times. All right, we have Sarah. She says, hi, everybody. And is it Cardinius Vasquez? And is it Sophie Gove from Sweden? Wow, all the way from Sweden. I bet you're not real hot like some of our friends in the southern states. We have Bonnie Rose with us. And all the comments just loaded at one time. Gee, I am not going to get through them again. Let's see. Oh, you guys are being so nice, congratulating everybody. And I think I just finally caught up to where I was. Excuse me. We have Jane Scott and Alice. Oh, thank you, Wanda. She says she likes my shawlette. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I'm actually going to be releasing releasing this pattern publicly. It's part of my book. Oh, where is it? Oh, it's over here, because I'm going to be giving some of these away towards the end. It's part of this book, and it's one of these patterns where you can basically use any yarn you want. You can make it as big or as small as you want. You just stop when you decide you get the size you like. And I'm going to be redoing it in the Nurturing Fibers Kid Silk, which is a blend of silk and kid mohair. It's going to be like cotton candy. So I'm going to be releasing this publicly um, very soon. I haven't even started on it yet, so give me a month or two, but it's going to be coming in the future. Just wanted to let you all know that. But I know a lot of you have already done the shawl or scarf before. Where did the other one go? Ah, it's over there. I'll just do it later. Hannah's sending me another comment here. Jane Scott says she loves the new baby blanket so much, but she has to find an alternative yarn as she can't get a hold of the one I used. If you're talking about the Hylia honey, yes, that yarn is no longer available, but there is a yarn from Cascade Yarns. You should be able to order it online from a number of different places, or check out at your local yarn store. They have something called Cherub. Oh, thank you. Cherub DK, which I think would be fantastic. It's an acrylic nylon blend, very what's the word I'm looking for? Very drapey, and I think that would actually be maybe even a little bit better. It may be a tad bit thicker. Another possibility, if you want to invest a little bit more money than the Cascade, the bamboo yarns are really nice for that. Some of those blankets, if the ones that use a size G crochet hook, the Nurturing Fibers, Eco Bamboo, Eco Cottons, those are really nice, and it's a DK weight as well. So those are just some options there for you, Jane. Oh, thank you so much, Archer Nation. You are so generous. She says, try again. So I'm going to write that down. So we are starting over because this past week, the super chat is what I use for our group donation to charitable organizations. So last week we were able to send off $130 from the last week and the weeks prior to that had kind of built up over the past month. So I thank you guys so much for your generosity. It's just so much fun to send that off and to know that it's going to be helping those precious kids. And those precious kids, one of them used to be my 92-year-old mother-in-law. She was a patient at Shriners Hospital for Children many moons ago. And one of our moderators, who's not able to be with us today because she's having a lot of fun with the boys in her house today, Esther was actually a patient not too long ago. And Bobby, who is often in our chat, Bobby is doing very well, by the way, just to let you know. He's our crafty Kentuckian. I don't even know if you're out there, Bobby, but we're thinking of you. He was also a patient, and whenever you're a patient at Shriners Children's Hospital, it's always for no cost to the patient and the family, which is wonderful. So thank you again for your generosity. That never gets old for me. Oh, thank you, Anne. She says, love your designs. Do you have any advice on how to fix a situation where my row width does not measure as long as it should when I work my swatch? I would suggest, it depends on what you're doing, Anna, but if you are, if you're new to crochet, I would say count your stitches to make sure that you have a stitch in each stitch across. And if you need more one-on-one advice, you can just always send me a photo, use your phone or something, send it to me, bonniebay@me.com, and I can take a look and I can let you know. If you're working cables, now the rope with which you cross the cables may actually pull in just a tad. That's normal, but that will all even out in the end. So okay, so Anna, just email me and we can, I can try to get back with you more on that. Let's see. And Hannah's sending me another question. Thank you guys. Thank you, Hannah, for doing this. Nancy Barber would like to know if I've ever made doilies or planning on making any patterns since you'd like to do and make patterns. Um, Probably not. The only thing that I'm gonna probably come close to a doily might be a floor rug, and that's definitely gonna be a lot bigger than a doily. I generally don't do a lot of thread work for two reasons. One is it tends to hurt my hands a little bit more than I like, and you need to have a tighter tension to really do doilies well. And I tend to naturally have a looser tension when I crochet, so that just doesn't go hand in hand. The other reason is that there are so many other people who do an incredible job that, I mean, I couldn't even hold the candle to what they do. I think there's a lady named Patricia Christofferson or something like that. If you would look her up on Amazon, she has, I think, hands down the best doilies I've ever seen. My daughter has made some of her doilies, and she's actually brought the champion ribbon home a couple of times with this woman's patterns. So I would definitely check her out, or check on YouTube if you're looking for tutorials. But I'm sorry, I am probably not going to be doing anything like that in a while. So, but I thank you for your question, Nancy. Oh, we have, is it Kirsten from Germany? My goodness, it's in German. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm sorry I can't read your question fluently. I have two other kids who might be able to, but they're not me. But thank you so much for joining us. I love visiting your country when I had a chance to go, and so did my children. We have Alice. We have, let's see, Pat Dancer's in the chat. Yes, I'm way behind, guys. We have June. We have June, and Amy Jo, and Mary Ford McCourt. Oh, we have Toxic Orchid in our chat today. It's always fun to see that pop up. That's such an interesting name. Nancy says she's doing doilies like a maniac lately. Wow. You have to check out those books I told you about, Nancy. They are really amazing. And the reason, I have to tell you too, the reason that I like this, she has a lot of surface texture on her doilies as well. So they're not just, flat. They have surface texture. And the reason she did that is a lot of times people would put them with the wrong side up. So she put texture so that they would have the right side facing when they were on display. We have Denise. Oh, thank you for your kind words, Denise. I so appreciate that. And Harriet. Oh, what a great name. That was my mom's name, Harriet. She spelled it differently. She spelled it with Harriette, like Harriet, because she was named after my grandfather. And of course, everybody would misspell her name, first and last name, because long story, but had a 10-letter German last name, Schweitzer, which in German means Swiss person. So there's some Swiss in me somewhere, Swiss, German, Irish. But anyway, Harriet, it's great to see that name. It's such a wonderful name. And we have Rosie King from Lincolnshire, UK. Well, I hope you're having a good evening in the UK, Rosie. And you guys are so nice to each other. We have Nancy Windsor from Boston. Yes, I used to live in Andover for about a year. Did I get that right? Did I say that right, Nancy? We have Sandra. It's always good to see that you're in the chat, Sandra. I just love interacting with you. Such encouraging words. Joanne, and see. Oh, thank you for your comment, Jane, about the baby blanket. I think that's the one that Hannah sent me. She's going to send me another one, looks like. All right, well, since we're talking about baby blankets, let me show you another one. This is the one that was released this week, and I forgot the name of it. This is, and I even printed out a copy of the pattern. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. It's the Easy Staggered Shell baby blanket. So this is up in my Lovecraft store. all set with, the link to the video. And of course, the video is available for free on my channel. And I made this out of cotton. And the cotton was actually quite nice. It was the Care On Ripple Cakes. And I used a solid, I really love yellow. So I used a solid yellow and then a yellow variegated yarn. It's like a slow color changer. And it was nice. It was not probably as high contrast as I would have preferred, but it was a nice relaxing color. And I always like to do colorful baby blankets with interesting texture, because I remember, you may not believe me, but this is true. I remember as a child spending hours studying the pattern, the quilt work on my baby blanket, which I carried with me everywhere, to the point where the ribbon that I used to touch all the time, and I just loved the texture. I was a texture baby back then too. And so I just love it. And I wore the ribbon out. My mom had to keep sewing on new ribbon all the time because I carried it around so much. But I do remember looking at the pictures and the cars and the different things on the blanket, which is why I think it's really, really nice if you can, you know, the crazy colors that you can't necessarily wear yourself, or you're thinking, yeek, I couldn't ever wear a sweater with that. Put it into your baby blankets because the babies will love them. It'll stimulate them. It'll help them to be smarter. I mean, yeah, I'm going to just say that. It'll help them to be smarter. So let me tell you the name of this yarn. Oh, I just did tell you the name of the yarn. And you only need 2 cakes, 1 of each color. And, the higher the contrast, the better. Yeah, it's called Yarnspirations Care On Cotton Ripple Cakes. It's a number 3. It's a DK weight, 100% cotton. Another thing that you can do with this particular pattern is make it a stash buster. If you've got a lot of, and you don't even have to stick with DK weight. If you have a lot of worsted weight yarn, just upsize your hook to meet, the size of your yarn. And then you can just use up a lot of the scraps that you have. It's only, you can just change it every 2 rows, and you can just, use up a lot of that yarn and be able to bless somebody with that as well. So Hannah's sending me some notes. Says Pat needs prayer for Dinah of Dinah's Yo-Yos. She's in ICU with COVID and pneumonia. Oh dear. Let me write that down. Dinah's. Okay. Yeah, that does not sound good at all. So I will pray for her, Pat. Thank you so much for letting me know. And from Virginia, something here, Hannah Rose says, I was wondering, do you make up your own patterns? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Now, some of my beginner stuff, like the beanie hat and the shell. I mean, yes, I've made up all the stitch counts and everything. But even if some of the patterns are very, let's say, common, like there are a lot of things when you begin crocheting. I mean, everybody makes a granny square, right? I mean, when you start learning to crochet the basics, I mean, it might look similar. Like I do have ripple blankets. I came up with the counts and the sizing and the yarn and all of that. But there's really nothing new under the sun as far as singles crochets, double crochets, and some of these techniques. But yes, I write them out. I don't, use any, generally speaking, don't use anybody else's. And if I do, I will credit that person. Like if I make a pattern, like for example, the Tree of Life throw or Afghan that is on my site. It is a multi-video. It's a bit of a bear, but it's a great project if you're looking to learn how to read crochet charting, complicated crochet charting, and I go step by step through that. And I'm clear to let people know this is a free pattern from Lion Brand. Somebody asked me if I could you know, do the video tutorials. I got their permission. They said fine, and you know, all credit goes to the company and to those who wrote that. I can't remember the name of the person that inspired that, but it was originally a knit project, and then somebody, I don't know who, converted it to a crochet project. So it was Nikki Epstein. It was her original knit pattern. So, and I let people know that. I mean, I don't, you know, I don't want to take credit for anything that's not mine, but generally speaking, yes, I do. And that's just come from decades of reading many great patterns that I've been able to do that. Cynthia says, oh, she said, oh, thank you. Says, your shawl color today is beautiful. Can you share which yarn you used? Yes, I remember the name now. Let me show you the color. I got this yarn from years ago. Okay, from Knitting Fever. I picked it up actually at a fiber festival, and the name of the yarn was Scooby-Doo. I remember that. And I just thought that was a cool name, and I liked the colors, so I went ahead and actually the lady was it was a complimentary yarn, because I told her I wanted to make a design with it, and she said, well, then just take it, you know, and because I was going to publish it and point to their yarn. So it's just kind of a mutual beneficial arrangement there. But it was called Scooby-Doo. It's a DK weight, and the fiber is a bamboo, kind of a tencel is what she called it, which is kind of like it's very breathable, which I really like. It's kind of like cotton, but it has a nice sheen to it. It has been processed like bamboo is processed. It does go through quite a chemical change as they do that, but they take all the leftover, you know, bits and pieces and stuff of trees and somehow spin them into a yarn. So don't know how it's done. I know it takes a lot of chemicals, but I do enjoy the result. So you can check out knittingfever.com and see if they have anything like it. See, Tammy would like to know, for a granny square, how can I get it to a square and not a circle? Tammy, I have a couple of videos on my channel designed just to teach you just that. So I would just refer you to those. And if you're not sure where they are, you can always email me, bonniebay@me.com. Or what you can do is just put Granny Square when you go to my homepage, and then in the search, the channel, you can just put Granny Square and several will come up. I do have a couple, actually 2 different methods on how to do that to make them square. So you can check those out. And again, contact me if you can't get to it. So, okay, I think I'm getting to the questions here. Oh, good. Denise says that things are looking pretty good where she is there in the UK. And Brat's mom, or Linda, I guess, is in the chat from Southwest Chicago suburbs. It's so good to have you with us today. And Bonnie Rose from Marble Falls, Texas. Let's see. Okay, let's see. What time? Okay, I'm not sure. I'm trying to be judicious here about my time. We have Dina with us and Joanne from Canada, British Columbia. It's good to have you. Golly, you got a lot of Canadians today. That's great. Nancy says she was in Jersey yesterday. Oh yes, Wanda says, to Toxic Orchid, I hope your daughter is doing well. Yes, we all do. Please let us know how she is doing. And Sarah's from Orange, Texas. Tracy Hamilton wants to know, I was wanting to ask if you are planning any Christmas Afghans or tree circle tutorials this season. I'm not sure. I do have some things that are in the mind right now, but they're not actually fleshed out yet, Tracy. So I do want to do an Afghan. I just don't know if it's going to happen before Christmas or after Christmas. But you guys will be the first to know. If you are looking specifically for a winter Afghan, I do have that Afghan already on my site. If you go to the playlist under textured Afghans or in throws, there is the Yule tree throw. I don't know if you've seen that before, but that has Christmas trees right down the center of it. And Yule Tree was the name, I guess, given by Red Heart Yarns. It is a free pattern, so you can download the pattern for free, and the tutorials are there to help you along. But I'll be thinking on that. There's also the Bonnie's Winter Cabled throw that was released last year. That's not on the public channel, but the video for that does come with the purchase of the pattern. Unless you're a watch subscriber, one of my watch.bonniebaecrochet.com subscribers, which let me just say this because people get confused about this. I don't personally have, let's say, a Patreon Patreon system or anything like that, but if I were, this is kind of my version of it, because this is my way to offer what I do plus some extra bonus material. There are exclusive patterns available on the watch.bonniebaecrochet.com platform. And when I release patterns like the Christmas tree skirt, and when I release, my baby blankets and everything, again, that I have ownership of the copyright, my watch subscribers get a complimentary copy right away. And like I said, there's a lot of content on that channel, or it's building. My special content, like with the Christmas tree, the winter cabled throw, the Aran sweater that you see behind me, that is part of that channel. Of course, you can always purchase the pattern from my Lovecraft store, and that will also have a video attached. Now, the videos on the Watch channel are totally ad-free and spam-free, so you're not going to have to worry about pop-ups or anything invading your space or your concentration when you're working. So anyway, I just wanted to get that in and let you all know. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hannah just sent me a message from Nancy Barber, said, just found out. Let me write you on the list here, Nancy. Said has just found out her husband's cancer has spread from his colon, liver, and now to his lungs. She has to leave and go be with him now. But if those of you who are praying people out there, please pray for Nancy. I'm going to add that to my list. It's and for those of you who are new to the chat and may think this is kind of weird, but this is who we are. This is not just a let me sell you something kind of a community. This is also we love to craft, and we love to care for each other community as well. And I just, having, I think, gone through COVID with you guys this past year has just really sealed the deal for me. I mean, this was my only social outlet for more than a year. I was caring for my mother-in-law, and when I could, when the states allowed me to travel, I could visit my husband, and when he could get away, again, limited by rules and regulations set up by our governing states. You guys were it for a while, and we do need to care for each other more. So thank you, Hannah, for sending that in to me, and Nancy, we will be praying for you. I will try to carry a little note with me throughout the week for that. That's got to be so hard to see your loved one suffer like that. All right. We have Haiti van Goosen from the, if I'm saying that right, from the Netherlands. Welcome, Heidi. Wow, that is so great to have someone from so far away. And Denise says, crochet is an art, especially with, oh, thank you so much, Denise. That was so sweet. I try, but you know, I will say clearly that I am, yeah, I am standing on the shoulders of all those wonderful women, primarily women, maybe some men mixed in there, but mostly women in my life who taught me to crochet, and people who published many years ago, like the late Annie Og, you know, just people like that. Um, yeah, I'm standing on their shoulders and benefiting from all that they had to give. And so it's just great. You know, I'm hoping that, you know, we can just keep this craft going and going and, you know, teach it to the next generations so they can learn to put their phones down long enough to do something with their hands. It's just, the benefits are just incredible, um, and are beyond explanation, really. Trying to explain it to people who don't understand. Yeah. We have, is it Tatiana from Belgium? I probably didn't say that right, but golly, you're welcome to the channel here. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Belgium. Um, and let's see, we have Anne from Maine, um, and Nancy from New York. She says, DJ P from Arizona. Oh, I love Arizona. I just hung up my Prescott Whiskey Row hat from when I visited my uncle a couple years ago before he passed. Hanging up in the foyer. I'm gonna, I think, be wearing it next time I go out in the car. And we have Linda from Florida. Yay! Another one from my home state. We have Donna from Arizona and Connie from Lewisburg, Tennessee. She said, I got halfway through the Celtics throw. I'm having fun with it. Ah, that's good to hear, Connie. Of course, if any of y'all are working on that and you are bogged down and absolutely tied in knots, shoot me an email. I can try to help you out. It's so good to see you in the chat, Swati. And oh, we have Shannon from Caldwell, Idaho. And Tammy says, have a good weekend. You too, Tammy. And let's see, we have Lisa Fitzgerald watching from New Jersey. She says, love making your patterns. Oh, that's music to my ears, Lisa. Thank you. That is so much fun. And we have, oh, let's go ahead and let's do something. Hold on a second. Okay, I have 3 numbers between 1 and 10. Go. I'm going to be giving away those 3 things. So I have 3 numbers between 1 and 10. Just whoever gets these, whoever is first. Okay, Swati is 1. And I'm just doing it as they're coming into my feed. Cynthia Lyman is another winner. And okay, we've got all our winners. I guess to make sure we've got all our winners, so you can stop. For now, I got some more at the end. And Chandra Gentle with a Smile. Is that right? And those of you with like interesting names like this in the chat, when you email me, so let me show you what you've won. The same, actually, I'm offering, let's see. Okay. I'm giving you a choice. Okay. I'm giving you a choice. You can pick one of these when you email in. So let me say those names again. Let me write them down so I don't forget. So Swati, because Swati got number 3. Charlene Lucas. Because she said number 9, and I do have the numbers written down. And then Chandra. Okay, thanks for your patience. So, and just to show you, I did write the numbers down. Just, well, I know I did that fast, but I wrote the numbers down, so that, anyway, I'm not being showing any favoritism here. So you can pick one of these, the cabled baby blankets, or you can pick from Winning at the Fair, or the bags and backpacks, or the textured super scarves book. Okay, this one, I don't know if you've seen this one. It's another one of those thin books, but it's got some really fun things in it. I'll just show that to you. And the one on the front I've actually made, this is using a worsted weight yarn, but I have made that with sock yarn for a smaller, narrower scarf, and have given it away as gifts a couple of times using the, the knit crate yarn that I talk about sometimes. I've used those on these scarves for a smaller, thinner scarf. So if you don't want this huge, humongous scarf, you can use thinner yarn on these patterns, and they come out very well. And if you don't want one that's, 10 feet long, like in the picture here, you can just make it into a stole that's about 5.5, 6 feet long, and, use it as a wrap. So, I mean, there's a lot you can do. You guys are smart. You know what you can do. So congratulations, Swati, Charlene, and Chandra. And we're doing pretty well on time. And let me show you another project that I'm currently in the process of recording. This is I'm gonna take this off. It's getting a little warm in here. This is in the Contemporary Celtic Crochet book. It's called Gaithersburg Stole, named after Gaithersburg, Maryland, where I'm broadcasting from. And this is the stole, and it has knotted and tied fringe, which, if you don't like that, you can work a different border if you want. So this, I'm currently working on the tutorial, but I thought it would be kind of nice to change up the yarn. The yarn that I used originally on this was the Caron Simply Soft, which is 100% acrylic, which, if you've ever heard me talk about acrylic, it's wonderful, but it tends to heat me up for garments. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to try it on something different. And since the Caron Simply Soft tends to be on the thinner side, it's a number 4 weight yarn, but it's, it's on the thinner side. So I was at Lana's shop this past week, and I do have a video coming out on Monday showing some, a little bit of behind the scenes of what it's like. It's not totally comprehensive, but it's like a 10-15 minute video on moving a yarn store, about what we went through, and just a little bit about the moving. And I found this yarn in her store when I went to visit her. It's called Drover. It's Queensland collection. And let me just show this to you. This is a really nice yarn. It's let me tell you, I showed it to you last week, but I'm just going to revisit it. This is 50% merino wool, 25% silk, and then 25% polyester. It really, you don't even feel the polyester, just to be honest with you, but it's a number 3. It's not a 4, it's a number 3. It's a different weight yarn, and you can see it has really, really good stitch definition. And I'm really liking the lighter color for this project as well. Now, about 10 minutes before we got started, I wanted to measure this and to see, well, because I'm also using a different size hook. Instead of a size J hook, I'm using an I hook. I took the hook size down one size, so it's one size smaller. And I thought, gee, I hope this doesn't make, like a 12-inch difference in the length. But it didn't. And that just goes to show you, because the Caron yarn is, again, on the thinner side. But so, and it is a bit on the larger size hook for both of these yarns, but that also helps to produce a lot of drape, which is why I like to do that. So I measured it, and it's only 2.5 inches shorter than the original, which is totally fine with me. I could have, I figured, I could lose up to 6-7 inches with the different yarn, and it would still fit me fine for a stole. So yeah, it worked out, 2.5 inch difference. And as far as the width goes, I don't really think it's going to be much difference at all. It might be maybe up to an inch difference in the width by sizing the yarn down a little bit. But since it's not a fitted garment, I felt the liberty to kind of play around with this, and enjoying it very much. So I am almost to the halfway point of recording those videos, and as soon as I can put those together, I'm thinking sometime in September. I'm hoping to release that, if not late August. Have to wait and see. I have to see how long it takes me to get these things done. So Karen, Hannah sent me a question from Karen. Says, Bonnie, just curious, do you use chainless foundation rows in any of your patterns? No, I don't. I haven't used them at all. I just haven't really felt the need to, but if you ever wanted to substitute them, you can. A lot of the times when I do the chains, whenever I've used the foundation chain, the kind where you don't use chains, you use those like kind of like single crochets. It's called FFC, I think, in the abbreviations. I just find that to be a bit chunkier than I want it to be. I know people think it's, more flexible. Well, when I'm making like shirts or, sometimes I like the chain. I just like, and I've been using that for more than 50 years. I have tried the other method, and yeah, I mean, I'm not, gee, I sound so negative there. I'm just more old school on that. But yes, I do like the chain. And if you ever find that the chains are too tight, I always encourage people to upsize your hook for the chain and then downsize your hook when you start working the stitches. And I think it kind of does about the same thing. I just don't like the chunkiness of the other style of crocheting. All right. It's amazing how quickly time goes here. Let me just go back up here, see if there's anybody I missed. Ooh, we have a bunch of nurses, it looks like, in our chat. Oh, and Johnny's in there. Hey, Johnny, so good to see you, my friend. Gosh, that's like 3 people commenting at least from Florida down there in your neck of the woods. Let me back up a bit. Oh, thank you for your prayers, Harriet. That is the greatest kindness I think that anybody can ever do for a person. Yeah, Johnny says, might sound weird, but crochet has gotten me through some rough days. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that has gotten me through the pandemic. Just being so creatively focused on what you guys want and what I can do. And as long as I can get my hands on the yarn to do it, that has kept me from missing people. It has kept me from, or at least excessively, going to bed at night by myself for all those months when I was away from my husband was definitely one of the hardest things I've had to do, which is probably why I read more books in my life during that time. I just couldn't sleep. So I would just stay up reading and reading and reading, and had to get some really boring books so that it would make me sleep. But it's hard to get a boring book anyway. Oh, that's a whole nother subject. Oh, thank you, Bonnie. Bonnie Rose, she says, love that you have a list and pray for people. I'm a nurse and it's been a rough time. You and your projects are my stress release. Love your channel. Thank you so much, Bonnie. That means so much to me. Yes, I write them down and I do try to remember to pray. I do probably need to pray more. I mean, just like anybody, I need to do it more. I mean, I need to do it much more. And a lot of the times when I'm praying, it's on the go, it just helps me to occupy my mind and to think of others. But yeah, I do need to do that. And let's see, I'm missing a lot of questions, guys. Let me see, or a lot of comments. Oh wow, Tracy says she's definitely need to join the watch subscription. I'm on my 4th blanket from your tutorials. She says, Hannah, can you please put it in a link? Tracy, the link for that channel is in the video description. And I need to make a video on how to do the channel, because when I say that, I know a lot of times people look at it and you're like, I don't see the video description. There's a little 2 words below. If you're looking at the computer, it'll say show more. And if you click on that, you're going to see a bunch of stuff open up. I just fill it with all the things that I think people might want reference to. Um, and if you're on a cell phone, it's a little trickier, but there's a little in the below the box somewhere, there's a little triangle. And if your finger is tiny enough, you can touch that little triangle, and it will open up all the information below videos. And this goes for most videos on YouTube, not just mine. That's where a lot of people put their contact information. And there's always my contact information, my website. If you want to get like a signed book from me, that information's there to my Etsy store. I mean, it's kind of like a shopping paradise for Bonnie Day Crochet. But I also try to put, added information, and the watch channel the watch link is right up towards the top. So anyway, and that is a $6.95 a month, just to let you know. It's not free, it's $6.95 a month. If you subscribe for the year, you basically get 12 months for the cost of about 10 months. So whatever 10 times 6, so it's about $69, $69.70 for a year. And again, that's going to include any pattern releases that I post as a purchase pattern. Those will be yours complimentary. And if you joined even today, you can go on there and you can see the other things that have been released in the past. And there are many different patterns you can download. Now the patterns, I don't think I have the patterns to this on there, but all the videos to these designs are on the channel. I'd have to verify that. I don't think I put them on just yet, but I do have many other patterns on there. The ones, again, that I own the rights to. If I don't own the rights to the pattern, then like the ones that are in the published books through Penguin Random House, then I don't own them any longer to be able to do that. And with some of the magazine stuff as well, it gets a little complicated, but if you can understand all that, that's why I do that. I'm not trying to, hold back on you all. I want to bless my watch subscribers as much as I can, because they're helping us a lot. And okay, so we have, you guys are praying for each other. That is so wonderful. Let me scroll down here to see if there's anything else. Let me check Hannah. She's sending me some more. Jane Scott would like to know, do you have any recommendations for a replacement yarn for Caron Ripple cakes, please? Yeah, let me think about this. Any DK weight yarn would work for this. If you are looking for a cotton, I don't know how this would work. I haven't used it for a design like this, but I know that Hobby Lobby has something called I Love This Cotton. I Love This Yarn brand. And their store brands are really high quality. I will say that they are on par with any of the national brands, as far as I know, maybe even a little bit better in some ways. But they do have a lot of different cottons in store that you can check out. They have their own cake like cotton yarn, I think, or it's like a cotton acrylic blend, which would be fine for a baby blanket. It will wash really well. So I'm trying to think. Again, the Nurturing Fibers, that's available at Good Loops company. And again, the link is in the video description. That would be an excellent substitute. Now that's going to be a little bit pricier substitute. And I don't say that in a down way. I mean, it's great yarn. It's about $5 or $6 for 125 meters, if that helps, which is about 137-ish yards. I have to do the math on that, but I just tell you that because it's a little pricier, but it's also hand dyed. I mean, it's also gorgeous. So how much do you love the baby you're making the blanket for? Do you love them as much as Caron or Good Loops? I mean, I'm making a joke here. But I would save I would save the good loops for things that are very special. And I'm actually coming out with a baby blanket made with that yarn, and it was a delight to crochet it. It was a joyful journey for the crocheter. So I will say that much. It's kind of funny. The other day I was looking online, and my friend Stephanie Sheldon over there at Good Loops at Crochet O'Clock, she was kind of whining a little bit, as in a good way, as only Stephanie can, and it was about the paint box yarn, and she's like, y'all, and she's a big fan of the paint box yarn like I am. It's 100% acrylic yarn from Love Crafts, and she's the one who told me about that, and I'm so glad she did, because it's great yarn. But she said, y'all, it's hurting my hands, because she's been crocheting with the Eco Bamboo and the Fusion yarns that they sell, so much that she just loves. I mean, it's a really cushy journey for a crocheter, and she's like, this feels rough compared to the other stuff she's been using. So that's why I say it's a joyful journey, you know, with these fancier yarns. I will say that let me bring it back again, because we're talking about this yarn. This cotton yarn was surprisingly nice. I know that I don't know if they're getting rid of the yarn now or what. I mean, I bought it at the store. They had a lot of it. Looks like it was going to be around for a while. And then I went online and noticed that it's really hard to find online. So if that's you, you know, check out some of these other alternatives, and definitely check out the I Love This Yarn at the Hobby Lobby store if you have a Hobby Lobby near you. I unfortunately don't when I'm at home in Maryland, but you can also look at their yarn online. Cindy Rees says, Bonnie, I'm a beginning crocheter on the gold stole. Do you crochet across bottom or along the length? I'm a retired nurse. I'm guessing that's the Wheatfield capelet. Um, Cindy, I would just encourage you to contact me. My email is in the video description below, bonniebay@me.com. And if you send me a picture of your question, I just continue on. I mean, I'm just continuing. I don't remember off the top of my head if I had to rejoin the yarn or not. I may have, but I recorded that more than a year and a half ago, so I really don't have the memory of that. But if you send me a picture, we can, and your question, I can try to work it out that way, and I can confirm it with the pattern at the time, and give you a little bit of support there. All right. Yeah, Harriet says, I love that this is a very caring group that also shares our love of crochet. Absolutely, Harriet. We don't we don't do hating here. We don't, yeah, and yeah, this is a really good group of people. I tell you what, if I had the money, I would say, you know, meet me in Miami, and let's get on board one of those cruise ships and go somewhere together and just hang out. I mean, maybe do a little bit of crocheting, but I would just say just hang out with each other. That would be such a blast to do. And no, I don't have any plans for anything like that, but if there are anybody out there that's a cruise director or a travel agent and you can cut us a serious deal, contact me right now, because I am so ready for that. All right, so we do have a little, I may not be able to get, oh, wait a minute, let me just read this one. This looks really, really great. Hildegard says, I learned to crochet in the 3rd grade in Germany school many, many years ago, and have been crocheting ever since. How wonderful that 3rd grade teacher did that for you, Hildegard. How wonderful. That is a great story. All right, well, I am going to, okay, we have Karen from Russell, Kansas. You know, I'm just going to go over for a few minutes here because I don't want to miss any of this if I can help it. And Tracy says, got her done. I'm officially a watch sub. Thank you, Tracy. That is so kind of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that more than I can express, because that's the watch people are really helping me to be full-time into what I love and what I'm doing. I so appreciate that. And I don't know if many of you may not remember this, but I used to substitute teach. I enjoyed it sometimes. I enjoyed my long-term teaching, where I used to do some of my music background with the kids. I uh, taught taught music for about 3 months while this gal was on her maternity leave, and I absolutely loved it. Got to know all the kids in the school, and then I pretty much limited myself to that school. Everybody knew me. I knew just about everybody. I loved that part. Going to these other places cold, cold turkey all the time. Oh, that was rough. That was rough. And I'm just so glad that I don't have to do that anymore. And a lot of that is because of the support you guys have given me, both on the YouTube channel, the Lovecraft store, and also, the watch is helping tremendously. So we are, looking to build that more, to, just to be able to do more, just, and to do a little bit better as well. Been able to get some really good equipment, a new editing computer, which I desperately needed in the past 2 years. So a lot of good stuff. A new camera, when my other recording camera started making really weird clicking noises. So was able to invest in a really nice camera. And I'm looking at you from a very, not as fancy as my son wanted, but good enough for me, nice tripod that I'm getting a lot of use on too. So thank you for your support. It really, really blesses me, blesses my family. So, well, I'm gonna go through here and see if there's wow, I have nurses in Germany too. Wow, a lot of people. Okay, I'm still alive, right? All right, I may miss some of your comments, guys. I'm having to refresh my screen because it kind of locked up on me. So yeah, Scarlett says, I was pretty sure that Bonnie said there was going to be a crochet along this summer, but I might be wrong. I think I may have wanted to do one for this summer, Scarlett. Life sometimes just gets in the way, and we've had some, some, I don't want to say emergencies, but just, some plans that helped change this, having for me to spending more time in South Carolina than was originally planned, and had some glitches here and there, but plans do change sometimes. So I am going to come up with something, probably fall, winter. I'm not sure yet, but we just have had a lot going on here. Let's see. I have one more question. From Susan AB. Says, Bonnie, I have been trying to find a 6.5 millimeter Susan Bates soft crochet hook. I'm not sure they make that size. If so, where might I find it? I have looked at Michael's, Joann's, Amazon general search. I have one. I know they make them. That's a size K, right? So yeah, 6.50 millimeter is a K. They do make them, or they did make them. I would just say keep looking. Michael's, I have not really, I think only one time found the soft hook at Michael's. I would keep trying Amazon, or contact Yarnspirations, or whoever is distributing those hooks now. They may be able to help. You might be able to find one with a bamboo handle, which would be almost as nice, but still not my favorite. But it is a lot nicer than just the metal handle itself. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, I would, let's see, Joann's. Yeah, Joann's is the only place that I would know that would have them in store. Michael's, if there's a blue moon and things are really weird, they generally don't have them. Yeah, Amazon, yeah. If Amazon's not having it, it could be the supply chain has dried up, and that would be like a tragedy, which I'll have to put mine under lock and key if that happens, because I only have one remaining. So, yeah, Johnny has a good point there. Check eBay for Susan Bates. That's where that's where he got all of his. Yeah, that's a great idea. Check, yeah, or just, I would even just do a general Google search and see what Google or you know, whatever search engine you like using comes up with. Well, I do have some more business to do. I have, oh my gosh, I have 4 books sitting on my desk that desperately need homes. Let's do this. I'm going to write some numbers down. Don't do any numbers yet because you don't know the range I'm going to give you. All right, so I'm going to pick, let's see, that one, and that one, and that one, and, okay. Let's do that number. And let's do, okay. I have 4 numbers written down between 10 and 30. You can go ahead and go, and I'll let you know when we have our winners. Oh my, we're going so fast. Okay, we see Scarlett is one of the winners. I'm sorry guys, this is just taking me, okay. Oh, this is confusing. I'm very slow, guys. I'm so sorry. I know we have our winners, but you can keep trying if you want. I just have to verify these numbers. Marley Hagen is a winner. Mabel Denny. And Terry Redmond. Okay, so those are the first of the numbers. I had 13, 17, 29, and 30 as my numbers. So those were the first that came into my feed with those numbers. So thank you. You can stop now. Thank you so much for participating. And I know some of you got the right number further on down, but I had to slow it down. So many numbers were coming in at once. I just had to kind of go from the top and very slowly pick out these numbers, and numbers are tricky for me. So this is what you all can choose from. With the exception, whoever, I only have 1 of these left. I have more on the way, but they'll be coming in next week. We have Easy Beginner Baby Blankets to Crochet, and this has 11 patterns in this, and this is a great easy beginner book, and they all have videos. I have 2 copies of Cable Crochet Made Easy, which I refer to a lot, and all the patterns, all 18 cabled patterns have complete video tutorials. These are not on my public channel. These are private links only through the purchasers, from the purchasers. If you want this book or the baby blanket book, let me know. And then the other is one of my very first publications with Leisure Arts, Noggins and Necks. So this has 4 hat and scarf sets in it, and I think you'll really enjoy this one. This is probably my best-selling publication it's been in Michael's stores and Joann's and places like that for years. So just still keeps selling. So by the grace of God, wow. Um, thank you for your comments, Hannah. Um, so yeah, so thank you guys for participating. If I called your name Scarlett, Marley, Mabel, and Terry Redmond, Mabel Denny, Marley Hagan, and let me just let me read the name again so I read it properly. Ah, okay. Well, anyway, if you all can email me, bonniebay@me.com. I'll go ahead and put this in the chat. Just email me, and if your email name is different from your YouTube name, tell me your YouTube name when you write to me, and just tell me which of those that you all want. The last four people I'm offering the last four selection, and then I will try to get those in the mail. If you are from outside the US, and we're going to say outside of Canada, I'll go ahead and do Canada today. If you're outside the US and other countries, just let me know. I can let you have a selection of some others, or I could certainly send you the PDF to the Cable Crochet Made Easy. So that would be very easy for me to do. Okay. So thanks for playing along with that. I wish I could send everybody something. I do have some free patterns that will be coming out. A free pattern coming out in the fall. I'll see what I can do with some of the others. Yeah, thank you, Hannah. Maybe next time I'll do that. I should have said, one number per person, but I didn't, so that was not part of the rules for today. So it was fine if you tried, a couple of times. I didn't clarify one way or the other, but Hannah does have a good suggestion. Maybe next time we can do that. But that's okay. And if you guys are looking for these, all of these, to my knowledge, are on Amazon.com. If you're looking for a discount price on those, like if you're a Prime member there, they have lower prices than what I can actually sell them to people for, because I have to pay shipping. I don't have free shipping. The U.S. Post Office doesn't give me that option. So my books in my Etsy store do have, well, there are a couple of them that don't have shipping, but most of them do, just because it's a legitimate expense that most of us small people have to pay. So anyway, let me just look real quickly and see if I got everything. Yeah, I did that. Oh, I wanted to tell you, those of you who are interested in making the Christmas tree skirt, I showed this last week, but in case some of you are new, I will show it to you again and show you this. These are the cables on I'm calling this Bonnie's Aran Cabled Christmas Tree Skirt. And this thing is 55 inches across. So it's a hefty project. And if you are looking for the yarn for this project, I used Paint Box Simply Chunky. It's 100% acrylic. It's a number 5 weight. It's a light number 5 weight, in my opinion. It's on sale if you're looking for that. There, I did put the information in the video description below. It's like 30 to 35% off through the end of July. July ends tomorrow. So if you're looking to get this for this particular pattern, you're going to need 19 hanks or skeins, or you can just get 2 10-packs if it's cheaper. I don't know if it is or not, but you could compare the prices. I like it in their 10 packs because I can always find something for the leftovers at some point. And when I'm designing, I never know exactly how much I'm going to need, so it's always helpful. And I think I've covered most everything. And let me go ahead. I do have an encouraging word I want to leave with you. And this is from, let's see, Proverbs. I didn't put my marker in like I should have. I left it out here in a different place. Okay, I'm going to read from Proverbs 16, verse 24. And this is something I think we can all benefit from and apply. It's such a great verse. It says, this is verse 24. Gracious words are like a honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and health to the body. And it's calorie free, I will add. How wonderful is that? God's word is like that. Gracious words are like a honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and health to the body. So go be sweetness to somebody's soul today. You guys have been sweetness to mine for sure. And I thank you for that. And I so look forward to seeing you next Friday and just want to wish God's blessings. Bye-bye.